Hi guys, as you can see I've got my passion planner in front of me today to do a little planning session, but I'm not actually going to be using this passion planner. I'm going to be using this passion planner. This was the Christmas present from my husband. I had asked him for the compact version, but the fact that he went to the website and found it all by himself, you know, that's still a win. So I've been thinking about how to use this, and I've decided I'm going to try and make this far more functional. This, my academic one, so I'm going to bring it back in shot. This one has become far more pretty and lots of stickers, and it's lovely and it's delightful, and I do add sort of journaling stuff in it, so I'll probably keep going with that. But this is going to be a more functional planner, so I'm going to do a functional plan with me today using my lovely new colour coding system. It's not really new, it's the same colour coding system I've had for ages. And I'm going to plan for the second week in January. So the first week in January, there isn't a lot going on. I'm not back at work. My husband is. There's literally not a lot going on, so I didn't bother doing a film for that session, but I thought this week is the first week back at work, and I've been thinking about how I can use this more in the classroom. So I was finding I wasn't really using my teacher planner that much. I was using my bullet journal and I was using my passion planner, so I'm trying to work out how I could fit my teacher planner structure into my daily plans in my passion planner, which sounds overly complicated, but I think I've got a way to do it. So because this is still new and there's like nothing under this half, I'm just going to pop something underneath it just to give it a bit more stability. I'm going to apologise in advance. I am much better than I was when I did the last video. I definitely got worse, lost my voice completely. It's now come back, but I am coughing quite a bit still, so I apologise in advance. And I've already lost the one thing I did. Oh, there it is. Sorry. I decided I was going to use my ruler for this week because I'm going to try and be neat and tidy and organised. And actually what I'm doing is it's going to require a bit more focus. And obviously work is delightful. So as you might have guessed from what I've just said about work and everything else, the green pen signifies work. And I'm already mumbling over what I want to say and getting my words out, which means that when various people I know watch this, they're going to make comments, but you know what? I don't really care. So in my teacher planner setup, I have 5 sessions per day. So we always have like a guided reading session in the morning, maths and English, and then 2 afternoon sessions. And obviously in most of the teacher planners you get extra boxes, so I kind of use those for events and that are happening in the day. So what I thought was if I have 6 boxes of 3, during my normal work hours, I can add in events as well as like my 5 lessons. I am getting there with the words. So this is why I wanted to use a ruler this week. I don't always use a ruler. In fact, I very rarely use a ruler. It's just sometimes you have to change what you're doing to make improvements, and that's fine. So it is very nearly New Year, 1, 2, 3, 6, which is why I'm trying to get set up for work just so I can enjoy the last bit of my holiday. And it's actually kind of nice because I'm getting set up for work and planning the year ahead. I get a lot of time by myself, which is lovely. And we are about to have a house full for New Year. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but sometimes having some time by yourself before everyone turns up is very nice. And I don't even like the word nice. There are far better words. The English teacher in me is now screaming at myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry. I will get there eventually on my patterns. Because this is, as I said, this is the first time I've done a spread like this. and I just kind of wanted to get the work blocks in. So that's all 6. And I will just draw down the sides of the boxes as well, because it's me. Sorry, using it, this is probably why I don't use a ruler, like, because I actually have to focus on what I'm doing a lot more. Or maybe this is why I do stickers and not draw spreads, because drawing spreads requires a little bit more focus. But it's okay, because I'm going like that anyway. So yeah, that's the big thing I wanted to get in, is I wanted to get my work boxes in, and I am going to add a little bit of pretty. I am going to put in some washi tape, because I like washi tape. This is how I started planning in my passion planner. This is, I really like the colours. This is a Mastay, I think is how it's pronounced. I could be completely wrong. It's got the little flick over the E, which has a proper name, I know, and someone will probably comment on this. So there we go. I quite like it, and it's just a little bit of colour, isn't it? Doesn't need a lot, just a bit, because otherwise it would be too boring, I think. Not that, no, it wouldn't be too boring. I just like patterns and colour. And even though this is going to be functional over anything else, I'm still going to add some decorative bits here and there. So then we get on to what is actually going on next week. So do you have guides next week? So guides blue. I'm going to block out a little bit of extra time because of travel. It always seems to take longer than is necessary. So even though it's only an hour and a half session, by the time you add in getting there, setting up, clearing up, getting back, you're kind of almost looking at 2.5. So that's in there. I'm having my nails done on Thursday, which does, it is at 4:30, and I will leave work at like 4, but the way I've got my day set up, I do kind of, I'm just going to jut it up against each other. I know that I've got that appointment, and that's what it's there for. So that's that. So what else I do? Tuesday, I will probably go to the gym straight from work. So I'll allow some extra time on that. And then, sorry, squeaky chair syndrome. Wednesday we'll have staff meeting, so I won't go then. Thursday I've got nails, so I won't go there. I might go Friday after work. So the yellow, oh, I don't think I explained the yellow is kind of me. So appointments, stuff like that. And gym sessions evidently Sunday. I might go Sunday. I should go Sunday. I'll go later on Sunday. If I go slightly later on Sunday, I can have a long soak in the jacuzzi afterwards, which is always quite nice. And sit in the sauna and just generally have a little bit of chill out time. So Sunday we will do a little bit of housework in the morning. So anything household is pink. Sorry, it's me sniffing again, isn't it? So I'll have a little bit of housework to do. But this does seem really weird doing this with a ruler. It doesn't seem like, doesn't seem right somehow doing it with a ruler, which is very odd, but anyway. So do it then. and then I'll leave it for now. There is some other household stuff that I need to get done during the week, but I will add that in as the week goes on. One thing I haven't put in is my intention is to start doing a miracle morning routine again, which I know I've said before that I'd like to start it, and then didn't get very far with it, but I think it's something I'd like to do, and I've just drawn all the way across there. Never mind. I'll just add in the little lines. No, that's what I want to do. Sorry. Again, this is not how I normally draw out my week. I'm using a ruler. I'm not turning my planner around 95 different directions, which I normally do. You may have seen me do that before. In fact, you will have seen me do that before, so may about it. So that's there. So that's my miracle morning routine slots, and I will do it on Saturday as well. Do I have anything going on Saturday? I don't think so. Do it a little bit later on Saturday, because why not? It is the weekend after all. So we should do it there. Orange is for studying and for uni stuff, so I shall block out some time on Tuesday. You can see I've not gone all the way across there because there is something else that needs to go in at the same sort of time, so I should put that in. And Wednesday I will do the same. Again, there's something else that needs to go in on Wednesday, so I've not gone all the way across. So Tuesday, Wednesday evening, we'll do some on Sunday afternoon. And some on Saturday morning as well. No, we'll go Saturday afternoon. Saturday afternoon. It's more likely. Go. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. So that's studying. And I'm going to go back in on Tuesday and Wednesday. The thing that is missing is appointments my husband has. So he has his own colour as well, which is purple. He's always had loads of purple shirts, and so I kind of associate purple with him, which is why he's purple. So yeah, I'm aware that I'm not as chatty as normal in this video. It's because I'm really concentrating, so I'm sorry about that. I will go back and do a chattier video at some point, and maybe if this works out and I get used to it, I will get into the swing of being able to do it without concentrating quite so much. So that is the bare essentials of the week in terms of colour coding. Now, I'm aware this may not show up very well on the camera because I've just done outlines, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour in the timeline. And in fact, I'm going to do that now off camera because it could get a little bit boring because you don't need to see me colouring in. We've done this before. Okay, so I'm going to pause it and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I've just used my mild liners to just go over the time. Oh, I missed one. Just go over the timeline on the block. So you see me do one now, just because I've missed it, and it will bug me if I haven't done it. Okay. So that's the bulk of my week setup. The other thing I do is I would set up my to-do boxes down here. So Yeah, I'm actually going to turn for this a little bit because it's a bit easier. What I do is I set up the bottom one here as my sort of habit tracker for the week, which I would do if I can find what I've done with my pencil. If I put it away, I'm going to over efficient and put it away with my little ruler. There we go. I got everything out and then got too organised. So I just take, oh, that's Etsy. I love a good Etsy noise. Just going to, so what I do is I kind of emulate the vague size of this column here and then just keep going with it, and it doesn't matter if they're exact, I don't measure it, I just kind of eyeball it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I either fill in all 5 or I put a coloured strip. I like colour in the top one and put the days of the week in, but I mean it's pretty obvious to work out which day of the week it is without marking it, I think. So I think I've had this week, I've had like carbs, Instagram, uni work, just kind of things that I need to kind of keep on top of or want to keep on top of. Then I split my columns. I think I did this on my last video when I did my colour blocking spread in my passion planner, which got a huge response by the way, so thank you for that. I split it just because it gives me a little bit more space, and I think I saw this as like a top tip from the Passion Planner Instagram, where they like reposted someone's spread where they'd done this, and it just gives a little bit more space. So as the week goes on, and what I've actually done, I'm going to show you if I flip back this week. I've colour coded the dots on days, so I know which task which, whereas before, like I was colouring like a whole list. It was getting a little bit messy and some weeks weren't filled up and I was just colouring stuff in for the sake of colouring it in, really. So colour coding the dots works because then I know what the task equates to. So like household tasks will obviously be pink, stuff for me, for my blog it will be turquoise. So this is anything for mine I've planned out. So at some point I will decide when I'm going to film during this week and add it in, and when I'm going to do the blog, because my New Year's resolution is to try and get the blog going. Which I started and then never kept up with, and then I started again and I never kept up with, so I'm basically going to take a new slate and start again. So that's the box set up, and then the last thing, which is a new thing I have been doing, is very simply just sectioning off a box in here, and then this will be for anything for this week, so anything to do with notes that might be relevant for the week, you know, sometimes you have like notes like during the holidays, things this was happening this week. Well, this week my husband was taking the whole week off work because it was Christmas shutdown, and like there's nowhere to write that really, so I section off a box to do that. And things that will go in there are things like, you know, which RE unit we're on for work, you know, things that are a weekly event rather than a daily event, if that makes sense. So what I am going to do, just try and help you out a little bit, is I'm going to pause the camera, fill in all the pen, and then just show you what it looks like filled in before I start adding as the week goes on, if that makes sense. So I'll see you again in a moment, guys. There we go, guys. So I've added in some of the stuff for the week. So I've started filling in my habit tracker down the bottom. I've done a couple of tasks that I need to do with the colour coding dots, just so you could see how I set that up. And I've kind of vaguely sketched in what's going to go on, but this will get filled in more detail as the week happens. So for like my uni boxes, I'll add in what I'm going to focus on for that period of time. I'll put my learning goals for the different sessions in as the week goes on. I realised I don't actually need these for Monday because it's an inset day. So, but I mean, it's there anyway. I'll probably just write over the lines as I need to. And then each day I'll sit down and just look at what I've got going on and plan out the day in a little bit more detail in my bullet journal. So that was another very functional plan with me spread in my passion planner. I loved the response I got to my last one, so hopefully this is similar, a little bit different, and might give you some other ideas on how you could use your spread really. So yeah, so that is the second week in Jan in my classic passion planner, my new one, my lovely new blossom blue one. There we go. I will see you soon, guys. In the meantime, happy planning.